Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy, what is it, Friday? Obviously, it is almost the weekend. We want to see what's going on here with Bitcoin and what's going to happen potentially next. The price came down as expected. Unfortunately, I missed out on a few opportunities for my community. Do apologize for that. But unfortunately, by the time I got to the market, it was already tanking. So, it's best to not jump in when the price is coming down. We call it catching a falling knife. You don't want to try to do that. You want to wait for the bounce back and potentially catch that other upside. Now, we have taken entry on a potential long position that has multiple entry targets to the downside. So I'm expecting further downside. But again, that's just kind of hedging the fact that I might consider taking some shorts with some altcoins here soon and effectively maximize our benefit. Again, a lot of different strategies for different folks, but for lack of better terms here, Bitcoin's doing pretty much what we expected it to do. We lost our support level here at the 20-day cent moving average, price is descending correctly, and we just kind of have, I wouldn't say a free fall per se, we have some support in this range between 20,500 and about 21,000, or sorry, yeah, right about, 21,500 to 20,500, kind of $1,000 support range there. So again, we'll look at that much more, kind of explain why I feel that we should potentially see further downside, but would likely have a potential increase as well, and kind of go through that as well. So if you're new to the channel, just keep in mind I love teaching people how to trade. So if you are new to the channel, I love it. This is my day job, and it brings me great joy to be able to help traders get where they need to go. So if you want to become part of that, feel free to go ahead and join. We have a new website here, cryptocash.tech is a site linked down below. We are rated #1 on Cornix, and of course, have a lot of different options here for different community members. So be sure to check that out in your own time, of course. Really awesome website. Super happy about this. And why don't we take a quick peek at the Discord here, recent trade results, because we've got some phenomenal traders in the community. I just want to kind of highlight this really quick before we get going. Shannon Green, keep up the great work. Look at that short from Ardor. If I recall, that is Ardor. I haven't covered that in a while, but I know AR is a unique coin. I haven't seen that in a little while. Same thing with Magic. Like, this is one of these newer coins. Zach, he took a short on the way down, took a long on the way up, and then took a short on the way down. So again, there's a lot of different ways to make money in the market. It depends on who you are and what you're doing, but again, fantastic stuff from my community members here. And obviously Alexandru, he is one of my best admins here for trading techniques. Generally speaking though, we're all doing fantastic, and it's a really awesome experience. So be sure to check that out. I highly recommend you register with either ByBit, Bitget, or MEXC Global, because we have affiliations with them and offer benefits for the community based on that. For example, ByBit, we have nice deposit rewards, but it's also linked to our Cornix, so you can maximize your benefit there when they have trading competitions. MEXC Global, they are offered in the United States with no VPN requirement. So be sure to check that out. I think they have an event right now that you want to go ahead and try to get into if possible. Link down below there. And obviously we're running a competition right now through Bitget as well. So just some amazing opportunities for our community members. So super happy to have that opportunity. Thank you so much to those sponsors for making our community just a better place. So let's talk about this descending trend. All right, so we're obviously in a descending trend here. We will likely be in a trend to the downside or sideways for the foreseeable future. Mainly, a lot of this profit's getting taken. I've been talking about this for weeks, but again, it takes it time sometimes, and hey, you miss out on opportunities. So if you miss that nice short, it's okay. There's going to be plenty more. Here's why I think that. First of all, we have a golden cross here, of course, telling us that we are on the right side of tracks. So hypothetically, this 50-day SMA will continue to average itself out and continue higher. So good news is we got that support level here, soon to average itself out in this range of 20,500 to 21,500. That is awesome. Okay, we like to see that. We also have the RSI below 50. So not saying we're just going to keep drawing down to the 30 level, but we still have more room for downside here. Okay, same thing with the MACD, still continuing to increase, and its momentum is just pushing down further. Okay, so based on a technical standpoint here, everything we see here, even though we have some support ranges below us, there's no reason why it wouldn't continue to drop to that level. Okay, so again, just kind of wrap your head around that. So that is kind of where we're at there in that sense. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the monthly as well. I just want to highlight this too. We got rejected pretty hard off of the 50-day SMA, and you can kind of see that here. Okay, so 50-day SMA right there at about 23,500 or 24,000 as a round number is a strong resistance level. Okay, that coincides directly with this not the golden cross. This is actually a death cross here on the weekly. I don't love that term, but it should be used, conservatively. But you got to recognize that what it basically just means is that with these moving averages moving down, that's going to be a resistance zone. In coincidentally, it's right there at exactly 25,000, which is an established resistance level in the past. Okay, so what does that mean for us? Well, it just implies that we could see further downside, and if we were to retest 25,000, we'll probably get rejected there initially. That's really what it boils down to. So let's take a look here at the 4 hour and see what's going on. We got a lot of continuation on the downside. See if we are pushing down here for an overextension. We are. We're hitting a 9 on TD sequential and then a little bit of overtime. So does this mean it's just going to turn around? No. But it does imply that a potential bounce is in the future, but we can see these Fibonacci retracement levels working here. So you can see price comes down here to bounce off this 22,300 range, continued higher, got rejected off 22,800. Price dropped down ever since, but you can see it retests this level here. So we can expect this Fibonacci retracement level of 21,800 to be a potential resistance level. Actually, no, 21,900. You can even round up and say 22,000. Right there at 22K, we'll probably see that as a resistance shelf for the immediate future until obviously it proves otherwise. Okay, so that's essentially where we're at. We're overextended to the downside. We got about 5 or 6 4-hour candles. We're 20 hours into overtime right now. So a pullback would make sense, but I wouldn't expect it just to happen immediately. Okay, because again, even though we have this momentum to the downside, there's no guarantees it's just going to turn itself around. But we can see that it's starting to dissipate a little bit. Okay, so slight consolation there, just letting us know that we might be seeing some tapering at this point where the price goes sideways before it goes down again. I would expect the price to go down just a little bit further before it comes back. But again, I've hedged my potential short positions that I might consider taking here soon with a long from Bitcoin. Again, I have different strategies. I have a different portfolio size. Different things work better for me. You may not like that, but with the long position I took recently, I think we will consider taking profits here in the relative near future. Leave that trade open, forget about it, and then we'll go ahead and move on, right? And the main reason I say that is just because it's one of those things where we have a tremendous amount of momentum to the downside. It would make sense for the price to recover at least a little bit to retest the most recent lows. Okay, so the most recent lows are right here at about 22,400. Okay, and if you are part of my community, you'll know that our profit targets, majority of the profit is going to be taken before that level. Okay, so I think there's a good chance we're going to see a retest of this range here to try to establish a higher high or a higher low. But once again, a little too premature to tell. Okay, so remain patient, and if you're going to short anything, I would recommend altcoins because they are absolutely falling pretty hard right now. Let's see here. So let's take a quick look at the 1 hour and double check here. One more thing on the hourly, we can see we are overextended here. Got a nice period of consolidation, even though we're kind of coming down a little bit, hitting a potential second 9. Doesn't imply we're going to bounce, but it does give us indication that the likelihood of the price kind of recovering from here would be greater. Okay, so that is a good thing here as well. Overall, positive in the sense that we could see a recovery. Again, albeit brief, but it will be a potential recovery as well. I do think we could see a retest this weekend, slow and steady, upwards of 22,200 to 22,400. That being said, taking a look at the hourly here, we can see we're pretty obviously in the red here. Okay, so what that basically just means, if you have a short position open, you may want to consider leaving it open for a little bit longer. It does look like we're about 6 to 10 hours away from a potential connection there, and what that is, that's just a conservative indication telling us that, hey, the momentum to the downside is starting to dissipate. You may want to consider taking some profit. Okay, so if you haven't taken profits on your shorts yet, you absolutely probably should, just to be safe. It certainly wouldn't hurt. Take 50% and move your stop loss to break even. That way, price reverses on you, you can still be slightly profitable. Okay, so again, a lot of different strategies. I prefer 65% on my first target, but everyone has different ways that work best for their risk tolerance. See, and again, that's why I have a trading academy to kind of help teach you about these things, because not a lot of folks understand that you can't just copy everyone else's trading style, because first of all, it's gonna work with your emotional ambition, right? Because if we have these situations where you're getting wrecked and you don't like taking certain losses, maybe you shouldn't take larger risks, right? Minimize the risk, minimize the loss, right? Again, a lot of different strategies I talk about in my community, but generally speaking, the actual Ichimoku cloud here is telling us we have a tremendous amount of momentum to the downside. We've got this resistance area here, right here, see with the upper and lower lead, telling us that, again, if the price travels back into this area, to say, for example, it could get rejected and come back down. Okay, so for right now, we're consistently making lower lows and lower highs. There's no reason to go long into this. So for lack of better terms, I would wait and remain patient to see what today's trading day tells us, because right now, NASDAQ has tried, it struggled pretty hard. Pre-market hours, it opened pretty lousy, and then the actual open hours, it came up, and now it's getting rejected again. So there's a lot of unique stuff in the market right now as far as fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm willing to speculate the fear and greed index is coming down, and we have a lot more fear in the market, especially with this little drop. But it's pretty standard, pretty normal when you look at the daily here and kind of understand that, hey, we are in a situation right now where, albeit we're not bearish or bullish, it just makes sense, though, that the price is going to come down to gravitate towards this level here. Okay, And you can actually use, what is it? A lot of folks like to understand this here. I'll find it and show it to you later, but there's a magnetism that happens in these demand zones. Okay, so this gap here that I've been talking about that hasn't been filled yet, the price is going to continue to push towards that. But my anticipation here is that the price, even though it's going to keep going probably lower, we shouldn't expect it to come much lower than 20,500 and or 21,200. It's this little support range. It's based off previous resistance levels. You can see strong amount of resistance in these areas, then a strong amount of support here as well. So with that volume profile being higher in this range, I think we're going to be looking at a situation where the price will likely consolidate in that area in the relative near future. So all in all, that's kind of what I got. All right, so hopefully that made sense for you and I was able to describe that correctly. Once again, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Check it out. It's really cool. A lot of good information. We're going to be adding some nice live market data to it soon as well that we can all use on our own accord. So thanks again for joining me. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.